Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire. Our edges cut from the profile, sharp and clean by every buyer. He conquers the markets, he turns water into wine. His timing flows where chaos turns divine. Cut sharp enough to time the sign. Yeah, this man's no common trader. He commands the market's numbers. We call him Chef Bailey. The market bends beneath his flame. Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire. Our edges cut from the profile, sharp and clean by every buyer. Markets move, they twist and swing. Every tick can burn or bring. Ryan keeps calm, he trusts his thing. The charts tell him everything. But when T1 makes ding, 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 the futures spread their hidden wing. And he is ready for anything. Vic's still looking like a restless king.
Ryan once said,
trading is like going to war in a sense, right? So you don't go to war without a plan.
this is why Ryan built a proven trading plan, and it's already transforming lives. These reviews from real members say it all, directly from Trustpilot, where our members give 5-star reviews about the Substack, course, and community. Don't trade without a plan. Subscribe to Substack now. Conquer the markets.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Happy Wednesday. And I just want to appreciate all you guys and your patience with me. I had a little technical error today with some of my computer equipment and stuff. So I'm a little late here today, but we're going to kick it off. I'm going to make it worth your while. Also, yesterday, again, another apology. I wasn't around yesterday. I was actually out in the Discord room, and I was also out for the stream. I finally got a chance to take my dad to the hospital, and I'm kind of letting everybody know this because I had a lot of people reach out to me to ask me how he went. So this would be a lot easier to do it this way. Took my dad to the hospital after his post-surgery checkup. Everything is good. I've been with him 6 weeks now, and you can probably see him sitting back in the couch back there. It's it's when you're the only child and your parents get old, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So I've been here 6 weeks with him now, and he is coming along just unbelievable gains. And so I am actually going to be able to go home on Saturday. So after a month of living at their house and being with him for 6 weeks, including the hospital, Daddy gets to go home. So real excited about that. So yesterday's little break was worth it. So I just wanted to let everybody know what was up. And so next week we'll be back as usual. And there shouldn't be any more delays in the streams, etc. So anyways, we had a great day today. The trade plan yesterday was incredible. Actually, it was absolutely incredible. I was kind of upset I didn't get to do the post-market breakdown because it was just so good. And then today it also played out phenomenal. We're going to go through this today, kind of walk it through. And this is still a progression from yesterday, guys. So I talked about in the trade plan about how we were coming off daily progression at the lows yesterday. We actually had the 67.2350 low yesterday. And we played the 67.15 daily this morning on the way up. So we've just been playing daily progression as we continue to walk up, and we checked some legs, the leg in today at the close, which was actually foretold this morning in the Discord room. I know I got some Discord peeps in here, and it's kind of funny to see it all work out. Again, like I woke up all fuzzy-eyed to look at TradingView, and I'll show you what's up. So anyways, before we do that, check this out. So before we start anything, make sure that you guys follow me across all the socials, Ryan Bailey Edge across YouTube, Substack, X, and TradingView. I actually got the TradingView indicator done, guys. It looks really good for you. It's basically going to allow you to copy all the levels that I do every morning and pull it over. I just have to work with my AI agent to get it so it puts a nice little string in there for you every day. I didn't want to release it too early and then fight with it this morning. So I'll work on getting that going, and it's going to be awesome. It actually uses the same exact color code that I use and everything, so it'll look just like my charts. I think you guys will really appreciate that. What's up, Jim? Good to see you. Raj, always a pleasure, buddy. Thanks for showing up. So let's get into it. Let me find my folder and let's get into it. So I had fun with this morning. It's always nice to be able to quote unquote foresee the future, right? So this was this morning in the Discord room, as you see, 5:59 in the morning. It's like based on this chart alone, naked chart, right? Based on this chart alone, here's the daily we played. We might come and test the highs of the leg today. I've not seen my PC yet. I'm just simply looking at the naked chart as of now. I got a cup of coffee in my hand. I'm just looking. I'm like, man, it looks like a pretty good spot, right? Oh, shocker. Where'd we end up at? Oh, he did it again. He did it again. I'm Brittany, bitch. So that's what's up. So excellent call. I was obviously leaning to the upside today as long as 15 held for our pivot. We broke above 57 and we did. We kind of led the way today with that in the Discord room. Everybody, as far as I know, everybody made money. We had a lot of people posting and I didn't actually get the chance to grab that. I'll just pull over the Discord later and we'll take a look at the scoreboard channel and see what's up. So I didn't post my gains, but it is what it is. It ain't about me. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So yesterday, guys, we had this amazing level from the trade plan. We had the 67.23 daily, which played incredible. Actually, we're still coming off of that. I'm just going to go ahead and pull my daily chart on. As you can see right here, we played it almost perfect. Yesterday gave us a 130-point squeeze, and we've continued to push up from that even more. Today was another monster move. We actually had about 70 points or 80 points in range today. It's pretty incredible. And actually a total of 100 points. So let's see, from 15 to, let's just say 15 to where are we at? 90. Yeah, about 80 some points today in range. Pretty freaking sweet. So awesome day. Still coming off that daily progression to the up move. And this is kind of how I started it today too. Like just kind of letting everybody know, kind of how we started here. Like we had a great day. We find ourselves balancing in the lower end of the massive range. The overnight action moves significantly. We had an expected range of 106 points and we had a massive elevated relative volume this morning of 71%. So I did a little calculations this morning, let everybody know we should have approximately 56 points of move above below the overnight high. And we actually moved slightly over that. I think we moved a little bit, about 66 points above the overnight high today. So about 10 points over, which was cool. And then we, of course, again, we've been in negative gamma territory for a long time. You guys know what that means by now. If you've been tuned in with me for this long, the negative gamma territory basically means that dealers are hedging to the downside. So we can expect volatility and money to be made both ways. And again, my downside lean is still to the downside, guys. So I just want to let that be known. But please make sure you understand one thing. And I've explained this to a lot of people. I explained it to people in the Discord room. I've said it on here many times that, I trade the higher, I view everything from the higher time frame. Right. And so my analysis is done based on the daily and the weekly time frame. And so until we start gaining some really important levels, I, still looking to the downside. And so far, I am still looking that way. But we obviously know that even in bear markets, we have massive rallies and things like that. So we can absolutely be looking for a long in a downtrend. And essentially, we're just coming to test the legs or the highest untested, which is exactly what I was looking for this morning in that 6 a.m. post. So we actually did get movement both ways today. And we'll get into that for sure, because there was a lot of guys that made money on the short side today, and then guys like me who made money on the long side. So the plan was very clear. This is the final thoughts. The plan is very clear. We're coming off the daily at the lows at 67.23, right? So in another daily this morning at 68.15. And let's just show you one more time what that looks like. Oh, hang on. So you can see what I'm talking about here. Here is the daily at 68.723. And then here was the daily at 68.15. Okay, so we popped up. We gained this move right here, or we pushed, we closed above this move right here, which gave us a little confidence on the support. They pulled back, they played the 15. Now we have two dailies that we're playing in progression. Daily always gets a significant reaction, or should. And so, we are playing the two daily progressions to the upside, right? So we knew that, right? But with negative gamma, without support being gained, we technically have a downside lean. And I still feel that way, but that doesn't mean we can't make money in both directions. As long as we lean underneath 68.5725. We've talked about this level so many times. This is the massive monthly pivot. We had three big pivots, right? I'm sure you guys can recite them by now. It is 58 or 68.57, 68.83, and 69.03. Every time we come into those pivots, they play. It's like ridiculous, right? And they played again today. So we're going to get into it. So again, like I said, money will be made both ways. Keep an eye on the important pivots. And for ES and the SPX is the 6837. Okay. And we're going to talk about that as well. You know, I always look at both SPX and ES and VIX to kind of help guide. This is exactly how I get the information to kind of guide you guys in the right direction. So just starting with SPX, this is the chart that I post in the morning. It comes in the trade plan. And you guys can see right here that we had reclaimed, we played this weekly level down here, almost perfect, 67.15.79. And we catapulted off of this and reclaimed the 96 daily. That was right here. Okay, that was the big daily. We played this on the way down as well, right? We bumped our head into the 37. That was right here, right? And this is our massive above below level for SPX today. So the bull trigger, a pop above 68.37 pushes SPX into 65, which is our weekly, right? And potentially 81, which is the daily, right? It coincides perfectly with the 68.57 monthly for SPX. And when I was speaking of that, I mean the 68.37 spot right here, which would be our big push above. Okay. So I will go ahead and show you guys just so we don't get out of context here. You can see right here is the same thing with our SPX. This is post shot. This is after the market has been closed. What's up, you can too trading? The gamma levels come in the trade plan. I'll show you in 2 seconds how you can see those. Just let me finish this slide. So as you can see right here, this is the same thing. Here's the 68.37. As soon as we popped above it, where did we come to? Here's the 65 and potentially 68.81. Boom, hit it, nailed it. Kind of hovered on it and then pulled back a little bit on it. Boom, score, touchdown. Woo, woo. All right, so that's what's up. Let me show you where the gamma levels are at. So they're under the paywall here. If you're a subscriber, let's see, where are we at here? Here we go. So here's the GEX levels. Put it in every single day. They're in the trade plan. This is a proprietary calculation that actually my partner Rob came up with, and they are phenomenal. So, you know, we put this in the trade plan every day. The difference about our GEX levels and everybody else's is if you subscribe to Spot Gamma or something like that, they give you like 20 freaking levels and you don't know which one's the good ones, right? So the nice thing about this is we essentially have been able to pinpoint the levels that matter. And that is it. So I don't give you 20 levels. It's usually 3 at the highs and 3 at the lows. Today, they were skewed very much to the put side. So we had a little bit more put walls here and then obviously fewer call walls. But here's something very important. And we're going to talk about this in a second. Look at this massive put wall at 68.14. This is going to become very important in the next slide. And I'm going to show you why. Right. So you're going to be like, oh shit, Ryan, you did it again. I know. We did it all the time. And then look, here's our big pivot right here, 68.54. That's basically our monthly level. So check it out. You ready? Let's get into the next one. I think you're going to like this. All right. But first, VIX, here you go. So the VIX, right? Just showing you guys how to put this all together. It's super important that you understand how to make it all work. So when you get this trade plan and you look at it, you understand my psychology and my way of thinking. And that is what's beautiful about this post-market breakdown. So the VIX analysis, the 2343 barometer, that's this weekly right here. You can see we're sitting right here at the pre-open. This is the exact picture that I gave. I just copy it for the stream. And there it is. Circled it for you. This is the pivot, right? Relief. As long as we stay under this, we have relief. Look for a reaction at the 2174 daily. That was right here. And this is the last line of defense for quite some time. If it breaks, we're going to get to the 1995 target. Well, what happened? Well, I'll show you what happened. And I was close. I was super close. I didn't hit this one perfect, but it's not over with yet. So as you can see, we stayed below the 2343. They actually tried to back test a little bit and then ended up falling. And they came down and the 2174 didn't get anything. I was like looking at this thing as far as like, okay, like I was waiting for them to pull back a little bit in the ES, but they just kept going. And I actually used this to our advantage in the room to kind of give everybody the heads up on the long, which I'll soon show you. So VIX played out perfect with our barometer, which was awesome. Okay. So I'm going to get to that gamma level here in a second. You can too. So pay attention. You're going to like this. Okay. So here is the first ES trade. All right. So this was our very first resistance setup, right? So this is the momentum ceiling. I talked about it. It was basically it was even in the trade plan title. I'll show you right here. And the trade plan title usually tells you a lot, guys. Look at this. And the 68.57 pivot, right? Right on the trade plan. You didn't even have to open the damn thing, right? So check it out. 68.57 momentum ceiling, right? Above or below this determines everything. It determines everything for our push higher. I mean, that is like, I don't know how much more self-explanatory we can get here. It is perfect, right? So for the short setup, you want to see 57.25 play and get back below 50 for continuation lower. If we push into the monthly, which is the 57, look for rejection to keep the downside intact. Well, here we go. This is the monthly. We popped it up right at the open. We opened here. We popped up. We played 57. And what did they do? They got underneath 50. 50 was yesterday's high. And they took it all the way down to 15. Well, if you guys recall, we had that big put wall at 15. We also had the massive support. Check this out. Look at this. Breaking down the 68.15 midpoint support. Are you kidding me? Right there in the title. You don't even got to open the trade plan. All you do is 68.57 was the big pivot. And if we bust below the midpoint at 68.15, we're going lower. As long as we hold it, we're coming higher. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that in the next slide. So check this out. Here was the beautiful part though. So I wasn't really confident of the short. I was still looking a little higher and I wasn't, I'm like, I'm feeling the downside momentum, but again, at 6 o'clock in the morning, I told everybody, I was like, hey, look, I think this thing can go all the way up here and check this leg, right? This is my thoughts right in the morning at my first cup of coffee. So for me to come out of the gate and short, it wasn't probably it just wasn't in my brain right away. But here was the beautiful part, and a lot of guys in the room made money off of this. So check this out. Once again, a huge shout out to Edgeville. This is my favorite statistics platform. We played the 57 short. We got underneath the 50. It was pretty clear. And look at this. There was an 89% chance of filling the gap at 68.26. 89. If you got short under 50, you didn't even have to short 57, and you took it to 26, that was a 25-point banger with an 89% chance of it working. I sat there and watched it. I'm not going to bullshit. I didn't take it. But at the end of the day, I thought about it, and a lot of guys in the room took it because, they knew I was still downside biased. I didn't take it, but hey, listen, as long as you guys make money, all good in the hood. I made money. I just made it in a different direction. But this is how powerful this platform is. Edgeville is the bomb. I mean, just like anything, it's not always perfect because trading isn't perfect. That's why it's an 89% probability. That means it has an 11% chance of not working, but 89% is pretty freaking good. And so it did work, and it was a score for a lot of guys in the room. There was guys in the room that took this trade and they left. They were done in the first 30 minutes. And I was a little jealous. I'm not going to lie. I was a little jealous. So anyways, all right. So check this out. All right. On to the next slide. You guys are going to like this, right? So what's up, Bryce? I think Bryce was that guy. I think Bryce is the guy that took this short. So, Bryce is making me look bad. Bryce has been trading for a few months and he's in here making me look bad. So maybe I need to let Bryce run this room a little bit. I don't know. Bryce is a beast. So check this out. Here's the next slide, right? So this is straight from the trade plan. Now, this might look a little messy because I wanted to show you guys exactly how this works, right? So check this out. So this is right at the beginning of the trade plan, right? So check this out. You can read this right here. We're currently sitting directly above our daily significant pivot at 68.1575, which acts as our midpoint pivot for the day. Same exact thing we talked about in the subtitle of the trade plan, right? And then we had the momentum ceiling, the 68.57 and 51 spot, right? And again, like I said, above or below this determines for everything for our push higher. I mean, I don't know how much clearer this can be, right? So it's like we have the midpoint pivot, and then we have the top pivot, right? The momentum shift pivot, right? So we talked about what we're going to do for the downside move, right? So this is it here. And then this is the 15 here. Now check this out. This is what you can too. We talked about this. You see this put wall at 68.14? Look at this. They came down. They played this thing, held it, came down again, basically held the 15. I mean, the idea here was, look, check this out. Here's what I actually have for the support, right? This is my midpoint base, 68.14 to 15.75. This is playing from the top down right now. At the time of the writing, it was coming off of this right here, and it was pushing up. And I was like, damn, I missed it right in the stupid-ass trade plan, right? So it's playing from the top down right now. This is our big midpoint pivot. We are currently playing daily progression to the upside as long as this holds. It held, right? It held on the next touch. So as long as this holds, we're playing daily progression. Boy, and I said 57 was the big breakout pivot. Boy, I wonder what's going to happen when we get above 57. Shocker, right? Incredible. What's up? Catch me if you can. So this is a perfect example. I thought this would be great to kind of show you guys how we had the resistance and we had the support. We had the midpoint pivot. We had the breakout pivot. We rejected from it. We got the short. We came down. We held it. And then they broke out above this all in the trade plan, all laid out perfect. All you have to do is follow the plan. It is really that simple, okay? And then, of course, you could watch VIX start to fall. You could watch SPX start to break out above its 68.37. These are all things that you can do to make it come together. So here's the trade that I took, actually, because I was like dumbfounded, sitting on my hands like a goofball. But as you can see right here, once again, this this level played so many times. What am I supposed to do? Of course, I have to post the same thing. This is the massive momentum shift pivot. It's the above or below determines everything. So here I am. I'm long, right? And I actually got long 2 cards. I ended up getting long again and taking one up even higher. And I took my first target up here in the 80s, getting in from 65. So this was an awesome first 15 points on my target. And I was able to actually get back in for a little bit higher. So I had a phenomenal long off of this. And I was very happy about it. It was short with small size. 15 points, $750 a car. I had 2 cars on. Actually, I took this when we pulled back just a hair, put a second one on, got actually almost 20 points out of the second one. I was rushed to get the pictures for you guys, but it doesn't matter. So this was a great pop over the midpoint pivot. I mean, you can see right here, I was long at 65. The level was 57, right? So I'm 7 points late at this point, but I still knew as long as we were above that, because how many times did we bump our head on this? I mean, look at this. When you do this number so many times, when they get above it with confidence, they're going to go. Like, they're going to go. We had a 4-hour 63. We had the 100-day moving average here. I'm getting long, right? And I'm taking it into the 80s. Because why? Why, guys? Tell me why. You guys know. What are our important pivots? We just talked about this. We talked about 57, 83, and 03. We talked about this for like 2 weeks. Well, so where am I taking my target? You guys know I'm front running the level already. And so that's how it works. And to answer your question, you can too. I actually get all my levels from structure. My options levels are based are simply as confluence. So I'll never take an options level blindly. It has to line up with a level of my structure, and that just strengthens it for me. So 9 times out of 10, they line up with my stuff. And when I see that like that, that really gives me, a feel for that level being, really good. And so it allowed me to size up, give me a little more confidence, kind of allow the trade to play out a little bit, because I know I have that options pivot to lean on. So that is essentially how I use the options levels. I do not trade them blindly. Okay. And we're going to get into that because we have another options pivot come into play here really, really soon. So check this out. So here's the 83. And look, this is my long. Boy, it's a good thing I took profits up here. Why? Because we have this massive spot, right? 83 untested weekly. We've talked about this so many times. Insane, right? We had the weekly point of control at 85. We also talked about how this was like a huge magnet. Let me pull this over here. Sorry. Pull this over. I'm going to pull my TPOs over. We talked about this stuff 100 times. I mean, literally 100 times. We talked about this massive previous weekly point of control at 85. I think I talked about it not yesterday because the stream wasn't up. But we talked about if we get back in this zone, more than likely they're going to do a heat-seeking missile right back to value. And look, that's what they did. Absolutely unbelievable. Right back to value, right back to this massive balance area. This is the daily. I actually have the composite where you can see it really clearly on the weekly. Why am I stuck here? Let me get that out of the way. Sorry. You can see it really clearly. They just kind of heat seeked right back to this massive weekly point of control, which is our big value. So it's not a really big surprise that once we got back in last week's range from our big push down yesterday, that they came right back up here. I mean, it's pretty common sense stuff because we always gravitate to point of control. And you think that weekly point of control is kind of wide. Why you say that? It only looks like one price point to me. 85. I don't know, bro. If I had to make a wide, I would say 86 to 84, 2 points. That's not very wide to me. I don't know. But, hey, each to their own. So back to it. All right. So here we go to the next slide. All right. So as we saw here, why won't this work? Don't do this to me right now. No. All right. There we go. All right. So as you guys see, 83, 85 played not once, but twice. I know some guys in the room, Stinky. My man, Stinky was short this. He banged this joint. He was on the short side all day. He made money off the 57 short. He made money off the 83 short. He actually held much better than I did. I actually took this trade. I don't know why I didn't bring over the picture, but, I took the long and then I took the short. I wanted to hold it down to 64. I should have. I didn't. I actually only pulled 12 points out of it like a little scaredy cat. He held it all the way down to 64. So he ended up pulling the whole 20-point banger out of that. And Stinky, I salute you. You did it. You did it, bro. You said it was a little sketchy, but you did it, man. And that's what's up. And then actually the pullback on it, this was an even better short. This actually ended up being this. Check this out. I'll show you what this was. And we talked about it, and I just didn't pull the picture over. That was the first touch of this daily at 68.81. So on SPX, that was the very first touch. What they did was once they swept that high there, here, this was technically the touch of SPX because, I'm watching both of them at the same time. So, I was calling it out in the room, but, it was just phenomenal stuff. So, and then are you guys ready for the next one? All right. So check this out. But that wasn't it because they caught a bid all day and the trade plan paid up again. Look at this. And here he comes. Here you go, bro. Here you go. You can. So check this out. So last untested leg, right? 68, 96, 75. We also had a big call wall at 94, right? It's the last untested level in this leg down. Does this look familiar to you guys? Look at this drawing. Look at that drawing. Look where that's at, right? What? That boy's crazy. Look at that. They came right up. They played the call wall at 94. Unfortunately, and I won't lie, I was resting up here. They missed my short by 2 ticks because I rest by 5 ticks across the board. If I have a level that I like, I rest by 5 ticks. So I front run it by 5 ticks, right? They didn't quite get there. They played 94. I was resting at like 95.50 and they missed me. It played like 94 or 94.25 and they missed me. I was a little salty, but it's okay. So actually what they played was this daily here at 93.25 and the call wall, they played it perfectly and they hit super nice. They hit for 20 points at the end of the day, which was pretty sexy. So, listen, the trade plan does it again. We called it at 6 o'clock in the morning and then boom, it plays out perfectly. You just had to be patient. Money was made both ways. I know guys took the money on the short side. Some guys took it on the long side. I know Bryce was long from the jump this morning. He waited for the pullback into the 15 area. He got long. He got his money, and he got up out the way. And Bryce, I'm going to go ahead and brag on you a little bit because, I feel like I do it every day because you're just a killer, like absolute monster. But here we go. Let's see what we got. Let me just see what my crew posted today. Oh, where we got free time. Where's my scoreboard? Look at these guys yesterday, though. Look at these guys, 519. Look at Zug with 1,000 point. This has become a normal thing for him lately. 1,000 points. This is like unbelievable. Like, look at this. Even Sco's like, congratulations. 1,000 points started to be the Zug League. Like, look at this. Oh, he couldn't stop. He had to do it with 1,600 points, and he passed a funded account there. That was awesome. Congratulations, Zook. And then here's Bryce again today. $750 right off the rip. He was done by 10:30. And then, of course, he's like, well, now I got to go to the office, right? So this guy's making money both ways. He's making money from the man. He's making money from the trading. I love it. Absolutely awesome. Congratulations. And there was a lot of other posts in here. I don't know where. I actually haven't been in front of my computer very much today after 12 o'clock. And just to let you guys know, what I do is I have the Discord room and I take care of everybody from the open till noon. And then I generally have some other business to take care of. As you can see, I got some business in the back here and of course, other beachy business to do. So, I break and then I take care of some business. And I come back for the stream to kind of see how everything's going and root my guys on because they're out here just putting up mad points. So I love you guys so much. Excellent work. I appreciate everybody for attending the stream. And again, continue to follow the plans. You guys are doing a fantastic job. We lay them out perfect. We had another great day. And I look forward to seeing what happens tomorrow. It'll be really interesting where we open. We can't, actually, let's look real quick. I haven't looked at the charts very much. I was going to just kill the stream right now, but we got another 1 or 2 minutes. Let's just look and see what we're going to do tomorrow. I don't really know because, I don't know where we're going to open, but let's just pull up the 4 hour real fast and look. Oh, hang on. Let's see. All right. I know Bryce likes it when I do this. He's always like, oh, bro, that was great. That was sweet. I learned so much. I'm like, yeah. Go ahead and make some more money, fool. All right, so here we go. So this is actually untested now. Let me see. All right, let me check this out. Nah, it's tested actually. I don't know. This is all right. So here's what I'm looking at. All right. So again, we've got 03 daily or 03 weekly here. One of our big pivots, right? We've talked about this. 03, 83, 57, right? So here we are. We've approached the top of this leg. It's a pretty aggressive close, honestly. It looks pretty good to me. Even SPX looks pretty solid. Now, what happens to where we open in the morning? I don't know, right? So I'm just going to put it to you like this. If we can get above 03, we're going to end up pushing in 28, which is questionably tested, but we have this weekly at 43, and then we have this massive high lost at 61. So check this out. I actually like the way the 4 hour looks a little better. So once again, guys, under 57, this whole thing goes a little south, right? Because now we've tested 15. This daily's tested at 35. We have nothing left untested except maybe 88.50, which I don't really like because it looked a little tested. And I do like the sweep play at 69. But for me, let me just pull up my pen. Let me kind of draw this out for you and show you what's up. I know Bryce is going to be like, oh, yeah, hell yeah, bro. Good looking out. But, all he does is just print off my shit. I'm just like, whatever, Bryce. All right, hang on. Hang on. He's going to give me the third degree here in a little bit. All right, so man, what is happening with my computer? All right, so check this out. Here's our leg down, right? Here's our leg end. This is exactly what I thought was going to get tested today at 6 o'clock in the morning, and they did. All right, so we have not gained support on the daily, weekly, or 4 hour time frame. We are still down on all time frames, but this is where the big make it or break it happens. If we close up here on the 4 hour time frame, we will essentially gain on the 4 hour. Doesn't mean we've gained on the daily, but we've gained on the 4 hour, which would shift momentum severely. Okay, so if they get above here, which is technically 03, and let's just call it 93. So we're going to call it 93.03. We'll see where we open at in the morning. If they can get above 03, we're going to come up here to 28. This is another massive high lost up here, somewhere between 43 and 66, and more than likely it'll be this 61 area, even though 51 looks pretty good, but I think it'll be the 61 area. This will get a reaction. Okay, it's just like the other spot. They just do. It's one of these ordeals I've talked to you guys about before. This is a big high lost. Same situation with this spot over here, but I called the short for 65. We come up, we smack what we lost, right? And they come back down, right? So again, if this area doesn't smack, which it might, we might open up tomorrow, morning and be back below 57. I don't know. But if we get above 57, expect a reaction up here around 61. Look at my pen. It's terrible. I got to figure out what's going on with this thing. So that's essentially what I'm looking at, guys. This is very, very simple for tomorrow. Above 03, we're going to push higher, stay below 03. We got momentum to the downside and ultimately look below 57. And really 83 is going to be our midpoint pivot as well. So, we're basically sitting there right now. It'll be interesting to see what happens. We still got some geopolitical turmoil. I obviously listen to Fox News all day because it's in the background. So, they're saying that the war might end soon or it might end in 3 to 4 weeks. And so we really don't know what the headlines are going to bring. We just got to be prepared for it and trade the chart. I don't really give a shit about the news. Honestly, I just care about when it happens. And so that's one reason why I don't trade Globex and I wait for everything to happen. And you can too, bro. You need to get in the Discord room. You got a lot of questions. I'll answer all that stuff in there. Hit me up, man. Shoot me a DM. We'll get you in there. All right. So you guys have a fantastic evening. I really appreciate you guys showing up. Make sure you follow me. Oh, and by the way, guys, sign up for Edgeful. It's amazing. Right? These are 89% bangers. You guys cannot live without this. If you're trading professionally, you're trading for an income, don't go without Edgeful. It's $50, right? It's $2.50 a day to make that trade paid 15 points. Or no, it paid 25 points. It paid 25. That's $1,250 from one trade right there. I gave you the 57 level and they give you the 89% chance to get down to 26. I don't know if you can beat that for $2.50, right? So check them out. The link's in the bio. Hit them up. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same channel for the post-market breakdown. You guys have an excellent night. Cheers.